Hello, it's Chris from My Stamp Lady. I'm here with this beautiful love card. Now, it could be Valentine's, it could also be wedding. And I'm coming to discover this is one of my favorite occasions to create for. So today I'm going to show you the order that I've stamped and cut and embossed, and just to create this beautiful card, and how I use the edgelet to get this little soft sea foam portion of the card. Okay, so we're using the Forever Lovely, and this has been introduced in the 2019 Occasions catalog. And right now it's a bundle through this catalog. So it comes with the Forever Lovely stamp set and the Coordinating Lovely Flowers edgelet set. So these are the two I'm going to be using. I have all the cardstock cut, and if you go to my blog, mystamplady.com, and find this Forever Lovely post, you will see all the sizes. I will also have all the supplies that I used and the link to this blog in the description below on YouTube. So let's start. This is called Powder Pink. This is one of the in colors, and the card base is just a half of a sheet of cardstock, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and I can set that aside. So I'm going to use the Lace Dynamic folder, and this is also found in this Occasions catalog. It is a folder that is extra thick. You can see how thick the plastic is. I'm going to emboss this piece of powder pink cardstock and then just layer it on top. This is one of my favorite ways to do this embossing. So I've placed it in the folder. And this is a really thick folder, so I will just need the Big Shot platform. I will put down my folder. Make sure you put this folded edge towards the front, towards the back or the front. And I only need one acrylic plate. And then I'll run this through the Big Shot. And when you pull this out, you can see how deep that embossing, and it's the beautiful, beautiful lace embossing that is on here. So this is going to then be my piece that I'm going to do all that layering on. And I have a little bit of die cutting and stamping. So we'll move forward, and I have a piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm actually going to using from the Stitch Shapes. I'm using the largest circle. I'm going to cut this out ahead of time because that's going to help me figure out where to line up my image. So last time I had the Big Shot platform, this time I have a magnetic platform. I'm going to place that down, and I have some more space here, so I think I will start cutting out some of those other die pieces. So I need, let's see, we're going to cut out 2 of these eventually. There is only one of those dies though, so I will have to do that in 2 passes. And then here's that beautiful edge piece, and this does not actually cut it out completely, so you're going to see me do some trimming to get that to be used. Okay, so I'm going to run this through and pass through, finding where those magnets, there's little circle magnets in there, and it was pulling a little bit, so just figuring out where that goes. Okay, so I've cut out all of these pieces here, the soft sea foam. Now this, like I said, is an edgelet, so it is not exactly designed to be used the way I am, but I'm going to just trim it down and then have part of it poking out, or peeking out, I guess would be a better term. So let's just trim off some of this extra, and you're going to be a little careful just cutting it so that I have a little bit of border left on there. And this part is going to be tucked underneath, so it's not as critical back there. But I do want this to look a little more round, so I'm just trimming that off. Okay, so this, I'll just have that part peeking out from behind. I'm going to slip a Stampin' Pierce pad underneath there because this is a photopolymer stamp set. And with my lovely lipstick ink, I'm going to stamp these hearts. So now this is a Distinktive stamp, and from one inking, you will see that I get different colors. That is just from one inking. It's a lovely lipstick, but because the way Stampin' Up has designed this stamp, I get the different shades with this one stamp. So let's just get this. This is going to be my left side here. Might have done a little more than I did in my sample, but that's okay. Okay, so now with the powder pink, I can set this aside. With the powder pink, I am going to stamp 2 of these flowers, and there is a coordinating die to cut this out. And this is also the Distinktive stamp. So you can see on there how I have the darker center and the lighter edges. One of the tips to work with this is to Be sure your stamp pad or your ink pad is not too wet and it's not too dry, and then you'll get the best. So if you have to, sometimes if they're a little too wet, taking a sponge dauber will help get that ink on there a little bit better, so you end up with a little bit with a better result. So I'm just trying to find where it lines up, and I found it. So that's going to run through, and that'll cut that out. But I'm also using one of these dies, and this is called Well Written Framelits, and it has a bunch of just words for you like groom, love, thanks, you, baby, miss, and it also has a coordinating stamp set. But I am just using the die, and I'm going to do the word love. Now this is a pretty narrow piece, so to make it easier to stick to my card, I'm using a little bit of the Sizzix sheet, and I'm going to put that down. You put this on before you die cut. So you want this before you die cut. Put that down. I'm just going to get that last little bit of covering off the back side here. At least I think I am. There we go. And then you will run it through the Big Shot, and then you'll have your adhesive on the back. There we go. So get that out of there. Okay, so put that down. This is my magnetic platform, and I will run this through the Big Shot. Okay, so with this flower, I'm going to use some Wink of Stella. So I'm just squeezing this, getting a little layer of the shimmer on there from the Wink of Stella. I've added that. We'll let that dry, and I've already covered my other one, so we'll just set that aside. With my strip of lovely lipstick, I'm going to just punch a little notch on the end. Now I am not actually using, this is only 1 1/4 inches wide. So here's a little tip about using it, because this is not designed, not one of the widths that's designed. So I just push it in until I can see that it's poking through and punch it. And that works. It's not as easy as if you have the 1 or the 1 1/2 or 2 like they have on there, but it does work. So I'm going to have to trim this down a little bit because I made it a little bit long. So let me quickly trim this. Now I have a 1/2 of a pearlized doily. You could either use some liquid adhesive, but I sometimes just like to use a dotted adhesive, which just applies the adhesive just to small portions of it. So I'm going to just place this here on my card front. And then let's take this piece that I have done the little notch banner out of, and we'll place that over that. So we just have this doily kind of peeking out underneath here. Okay, so now I have my circle. Just kind of going to do some placement here. And I want, oops, I want to use that dotted adhesive here. You could also use that Sizzix sheet like I used on the love. That would work for this also. Let's just kind of build. I like to put my piece down here just for placement so I can see where I want to put these other pieces. And I have not put it down permanently yet. And let's see, so we're going to have to put down some of these flowers. We'll put this one down, figure out here. Okay, put that there. Okay, I can put this circle down now. Down. My last flower, that last powder pink flower, I will be putting down with a dimensional. Okay, so now I have a bit of the black linen thread, and we'll wrap this around twice around this entire part here, and we'll tie a bow. Then you can just move that over to the left if you need a little more space over there, or pull it back before you put that other one down. Okay, so I've got that on there. I'm going to use some of my mini dimension. I'm going to use some of the mini dimensionals here just to place that up and over on the top there. place that. Okay, just kind of flatten that out so you can see how this whole piece is coming together. I am going to place this on the back with some of the regular dimensionals just to give it a little bit of lift, and then it will not be kind of spread over that. You won't have a bump over where that baker's twine is. So we'll just remove these covers and put this down in the background. Then here is that love piece, and you'll see that I have that Sizzix sheet on the back, so I don't have to use my dotted adhesive on this one. So first of all, just pop it out, get rid of the little pieces that we don't want. When you put that Sizzix sheet on the back, those little popped out pieces don't come out quite as easily as if the Sizzix sheet's not off there. It's not difficult, but just to warn you, you might have to just do a little more to get that out. But because that adhesive is on the back, it's ready to go down, and I can press that down. So I have this, and then we're pulling in some of the pearls, and I'm going to use a little larger pearl, one of my larger jewels here. We're going to stick that one right there, and then we'll move up to the smaller size and just go in and around these hearts here to add a little bit of interest and to carry your eye up through the top. And then I would use a piece of Whisper White cardstock on the inside to stamp an inside sentiment and a writing surface. And that is your wedding Valentine's card with the Forever Lovely, the distinctive images, and some die cutting. And if you have any questions, this is probably a little step above, but if you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact me, Chris, at mystamplady.com. All the supplies are in my online store at shopwithmystamplady.com. Thanks so much for watching.